The narrow alley in East Haven District was pitch black. Footsteps echoed, growing closer. A young black woman was pinned against the wall by two men, her eyes filled with terror. Then came the scream that cut through the Atlanta night. "Daddy, please help her!" From the shadows, a black man in simple work clothes emerged, carrying nothing but a wooden stick. Within seconds, both attackers were on the ground. The trembling girl looked up at him while his daughter hugged him tight. "You saved her, Daddy." He had no idea that tomorrow, this moment would bring the most powerful CEO in Atlanta straight to his doorstep. 36 years old. A construction worker who looks ordinary from the outside, but his solid build and confident posture tell a different story. Every morning at 6 a.m., David's alarm goes off, not for himself, but for his 8-year-old daughter, Lily. She's the light of his world. Bright eyes, thick, natural curls pulled into 2 puffs, and a smile that could melt steel. "Daddy, look what I drew." Lily runs to him, her brown skin glowing in the morning light, holding up a colorful picture of a man with a cape. "It's you? My superhero, Daddy?" David chuckles, kneeling down to her level. "I'm just a regular dad, sweetheart." "No way. Regular dads can't fix everything like you do." If only she knew the truth. 3 years ago, David's world collapsed. Grace, his wife, died in a car accident. One phone call changed everything. He was serving overseas, part of an elite military security team. The day he got that call, he made a choice that haunts him every night. He came home. He quit the military. He gave up everything he trained for to raise Lily alone. In his pocket, he always carries a broken ballpoint pen. Grace gave it to him the day before their wedding. "For luck," she'd said. The ink ran out years ago, but David can't let it go. It's all he has left of her. Now his days are simple. Work the night shift at construction sites, come home at dawn, make Lily breakfast, walk her to school, sleep for a few hours, pick her up, help with homework, repeat. Tonight was different, though. David finished his shift early. The foreman sent everyone home because of the weather. Rain poured down like bullets, soaking the empty streets of Brookview District. "Daddy, can we get ice cream on the way home?" Lily skipped beside him, her raincoat bright yellow against the gray Atlanta evening. "It's raining, baby girl. How about hot chocolate instead?" "Deal, but only if you tell me another story about the brave knights." David smiled. Lily loved his made-up stories about knights who protected people. She never knew these stories came from his real memories, different uniform, same mission. They took a shortcut through East Haven District. Narrow alleys, dim streetlights, the kind of place most people avoided after dark. But David knew these streets. He'd mapped every corner, every exit, every hiding spot. Old habits die hard. That's when they heard it. A woman's voice, muffled, but desperate. "Please, just let me go." David stopped. Lily grabbed his arm. "Daddy, someone's in trouble." Through the rain and shadows, David saw them. 2 men had cornered a young black woman against a brick wall. She couldn't be more than 25. Designer clothes, expensive purse, but terror in her eyes. "This doesn't concern you, lady," one of the men snarled. "Just give us what we want and nobody gets hurt." David's jaw tightened. His hand instinctively went to his pocket, feeling the broken pen. Grace's voice echoed in his memory. "Promise me you'll always protect the innocent." Lily tugged at his jacket. "Daddy, we have to help her." David looked down at his daughter, 8 years old, and she already understood what was right. "Stay behind me, Lily. No matter what happens, stay behind me." The 2 men were bigger than David, younger too. They probably thought this would be easy. Money from some rich girl who took a wrong turn. They had no idea what was coming. "Daddy, please help her!" Lily's voice cut through the rain. David stepped forward. No hesitation. The first man turned around, annoyed. "Hey, old man, mind your own business." "Let her go," David said quietly. His voice was calm, but there was steel underneath. Both men laughed. The second one, taller with a gold chain, stepped closer. What's this? Some construction worker thinks he's a hero? Just a worker, the first man mocked. Stay out of this, janitor. The woman looked at David with desperate hope. Tears streamed down her face. Please, she whispered. David felt something shift inside him. It was like muscle memory. 3 years of construction work disappeared, and suddenly he was back in that other life, the life where protecting people was everything. I'm going to count to 3, David said. Let her go and walk away. Gold Chain laughed harder. Or what? You'll call the cops? There's no signal down here. 1. The first man pulled something from his jacket, a knife. You deaf or stupid? 2. Lily squeezed David's hand. She wasn't scared anymore. She trusted him completely. 3. What happened next lasted maybe 10 seconds, but it felt like slow motion. David moved. The broken pen in his pocket might not have ink anymore, but it was still solid metal. As Gold Chain lunged forward, David's hand shot out. The pen struck a pressure point in the man's neck. Gold Chain dropped like a stone. The first man with the knife was faster, more experienced. He slashed at David's chest, but David had fought men with knives before. He grabbed a piece of wood from a nearby construction pile, dodged the blade, and brought the wood down hard across the man's wrist. The knife clattered to the ground. One more strike to the solar plexus, and the second attacker was on his knees, gasping for air. Both men were down. The alley was quiet except for rain hitting pavement. The woman stared at David in shock. Are you hurt? David asked. I'm fine. Thank you so much. She was shaking, relief washing over her. But the moment was broken by footsteps. People were coming, drawn by the noise. Someone had a phone out, recording. Holy crap, some janitor just took down 2 guys. Did you get that on video? More phones appeared. The video was already uploading to social media before David could react. Daddy, you did it! You saved her! Lily hugged his leg tight, but David wasn't feeling proud. He felt exposed. This was exactly what he'd been trying to avoid for 3 years. One of the bystanders, a young guy with expensive sneakers, started narrating for his video. So apparently this construction worker thinks he's some kind of action hero. Guy probably watches too many movies, bro. Did you see those takedowns, though? That was actually smooth, his friend replied. Still, though, who does that? Just some random dude playing superhero. Another voice chimed in. Single dad, janitor playing superhero. This is going to be everywhere by tomorrow. The woman tried to defend David. He saved my life. Those men were going to hurt me. Yeah, we get it. Gold Chain interrupted, getting back on his feet. Hero of the day, whatever. He pointed directly at David, eyes full of anger. This isn't over, construction boy. We know this neighborhood. We'll find you. The second attacker struggled to his feet, cradling his injured wrist. You got lucky tonight. David felt every instinct screaming at him to neutralize the threat permanently. These men would be back. But Lily was watching. People were recording. Instead, he picked up Lily and started walking away fast. Wait, the woman called after him. I don't even know your name. Please let me thank you. David didn't turn around. Getting involved had already been a massive mistake. Behind him, he could hear the woman crying, not from fear anymore, but from gratitude. She kept repeating, "He saved me, he saved me." The crowd was growing. More videos, more commentary. Someone had called the police, but David was long gone. By the time David and Lily reached Briarwood Apartments, the first video already had 50,000 views. By midnight, it was trending. The headlines started appearing. Construction worker thinks he's Batman. Single dad janitor's cringe hero moment. When watching too many action movies goes wrong. Blue-collar Batman, hero or attention seeker? The comments were brutal. Hundreds of people mocking him, making cruel jokes about blue-collar heroes and minimum-wage vigilantes. Bet he practiced those moves in his bathroom mirror. Imagine being so desperate for attention. Poor kid has to watch her dad embarrass himself. Someone's been binge-watching too much Netflix. But there were other comments that made David's blood run cold. Anyone know who this guy is? I want to find him. He lives in Brookview District. I recognize that alley. I've seen him around the construction sites downtown. David sat on his worn couch, watching his carefully constructed invisible life get destroyed in real time. Lily was asleep in the next room, completely unaware that her father's face was being shared by millions. His phone kept buzzing with calls from unknown numbers. Reporters, probably. Maybe worse. He turned it off and threw it in a drawer. What David didn't know was that across town, in a mansion high up in the hills, someone else was watching those same viral videos on repeat. Someone who recognized much more than just his face. Someone who knew exactly who David Harris really was. And at exactly 6 a.m. tomorrow morning, she would be standing at his front door. The next morning came too soon. David had barely slept. Every car that passed outside made him jump. The viral videos had over 2 million views now. His face was everywhere. Lily was getting ready for school, humming while brushing her teeth. She had no idea her father's life was falling apart. "Daddy, why do you look so tired?" she asked, climbing onto his lap. "Just couldn't sleep, sweetheart. Bad dreams. Want me to chase them away? I'm really good at scaring monsters." David hugged her tight. "You already do, baby girl." That's when they heard it. Expensive car doors closing outside Briarwood Apartments. David looked out the window and froze. A black SUV with tinted windows, a driver in a suit, and stepping out, a black woman who looked like she belonged on Business Weekly's cover. Vanessa King, 30 years old, CEO of King Enterprises, one of the biggest companies in Georgia. Her dark hair was pulled back perfectly, designer suit that cost more than David made in 3 months. But her eyes were red from crying. "Daddy, who's that pretty lady?" Lily pressed her face against the window. 3 sharp knocks on the door. Professional. Urgent. David opened it slowly, Lily hiding behind his leg. Vanessa King stood there, and up close, David could see she'd been crying all night. "Mr. Harris," she said, voice shaking. "My name is Vanessa King. We need to talk." "I think you have the wrong person." "No, I don't. You saved my sister last night." David's world stopped. "Sister? That woman in the alley, she's my baby sister Chloe. She's 23, fresh out of college." Vanessa's voice broke. "She was walking back from dinner when those men—" She couldn't finish. Lily tugged at David's shirt. "Daddy, is this about the lady you saved?" Vanessa looked down at Lily and smiled through tears. "You must be Lily. Your daddy is a hero." "I know. I told him he's a superhero, but he says he's just regular." Vanessa's laugh was hollow. "Regular, Mr. Harris? Nothing about you is regular." "Ma'am, I appreciate you coming, but you didn't—" "Just save her life," Vanessa interrupted. "You saved my family. Chloe is all I have left. Our parents died when she was 12. I've been taking care of her ever since." She broke down completely. This powerful CEO was sobbing on his doorstep. "Last night I almost lost her forever." Lily grabbed Vanessa's hand. "It's okay, pretty lady. My daddy makes everything better. He sounds amazing." "He is. Do you want some juice? Daddy always says sharing makes people feel better." Lily ran to get juice from the kitchen. Vanessa wiped her eyes. "She's beautiful." "How old is she?" 8, David said, still processing. "Your sister. Is she okay?" "Physically, yes, thanks to you. Emotionally." Vanessa shook her head. "She keeps saying, 'He saved me, Bella. He saved me.'" Lily returned with apple juice, handing it to Vanessa like a peace offering. "Thank you, sweetheart." Vanessa took a sip. This is delicious. That's when she noticed it. David was fidgeting with something in his pocket. What's that? She asked. David hesitated, then pulled out the broken pen. Old, worn, clearly important. Vanessa gasped. Where did you get that? My wife gave it to me before she died. Vanessa stepped closer, staring at the pen like she'd seen a ghost. May I? David handed it over reluctantly. Vanessa examined it carefully, hands shaking. This pen, it has an engraving. A small symbol. She showed him a tiny eagle with spread wings, so small he'd never noticed it. My father, Vanessa whispered. He gave these pens to every member of his personal security team, the elite unit that protected our family 15 years ago. David's blood ran cold. You were one of them, weren't you? Vanessa's voice was barely audible. You were part of the King security detail. The room was spinning. Memories flooded back. A younger Vanessa, 15, always reading while her father conducted business. Little Chloe, 8 years old, always getting into trouble. He'd protected them both for 2 years. He'd been their shadow, their guardian. Until he met Grace. Until he fell in love and left to start a normal life. All this time, Vanessa breathed, you were here, living like a normal person, David finished. Because that's what I am now, just a dad. Vanessa looked around the tiny apartment, worn furniture, children's drawings on the refrigerator, the simple life he'd built. But you're not just a dad, she said softly. You're the man who used to take bullets for my family. You taught me how to throw a punch when I was 16. You carried Chloe to the hospital when she broke her arm. Lily looked confused. Daddy, you knew the pretty lady when she was little? David knelt to Lily's level. A long time ago, sweetheart. Before you were born. Vanessa was trembling. My father always wondered what happened to his best man. David Harris, the soldier who could have stayed for life but chose love instead. She paused, looking directly at him. He always said you were the only one he trusted completely. The only one who never wanted anything except to keep us safe. David stood slowly. That was another life, Mrs. King. I'm different now. Are you? Vanessa challenged. Because last night, when my sister was in danger, you did exactly what you used to do. You protected the innocent. You put yourself at risk for a stranger. She stepped closer. Some things never change, David. Heroes don't stop being heroes just because they change uniforms. Lily clapped her hands. See, Daddy? I told you you're a superhero. David looked at his daughter, then at Vanessa, then at the broken pen in his hand. Everything was about to change. Within hours, everything flipped. The same social media platforms that had mocked David were now telling a completely different story. Vanessa King held a press conference at noon, standing behind a podium in King Enterprises headquarters. She faced a room full of reporters and cameras. Yesterday, she began, her voice steady and strong. The internet mocked a man they called a janitor hero. Today, I'm here to tell you who he really is. The room was silent. David Harris is a former elite security specialist who once protected my family. He's a decorated veteran who gave up a prestigious career to raise his daughter alone after his wife's tragic death. She paused, letting that sink in. The woman he saved in that alley? She's my sister, my only remaining family. And if it wasn't for David Harris's courage, I would have lost her forever. The questions came fast and furious. Mrs. King, are you saying he worked for your family? Is it true he's a trained professional? What can you tell us about his military background? Vanessa held up her hand for silence. David Harris is the kind of man this world needs more of. While others walked by, he stepped up. While others recorded videos for likes, he risked everything to save a stranger. She looked directly into the camera. Our family owes him a debt we can never repay. The internet exploded. The same videos that had been used to mock David were now being shared as examples of heroism. But the most meaningful moment came that afternoon when Vanessa visited Briarwood Apartments again, this time with Chloe. Chloe King was petite, with the same dark skin and natural curls as her sister, but younger, more fragile-looking. She'd been crying, but when she saw David, something shifted in her expression. "It's you," she whispered. "It's really you." She walked up to David slowly, like she couldn't quite believe he was real. "I kept thinking I imagined it. That maybe you were an angel or something." Lily bounded into the room carrying a piece of paper. "Look what I drew." She held up a colorful picture, a man with a cape standing in front of a woman, protecting her from shadowy figures. "It's you, Daddy, saving the pretty lady." Chloe started crying again, but these were different tears, happy tears. Vanessa put her arm around her sister. "Chloe, this is Lily. She's David's daughter." Chloe knelt down to Lily's level. "Hi, Lily. Your daddy is the bravest person I've ever met." "I know. He's my superhero. Do you want to see more of my drawings? I have one of him fighting dragons." As Lily led Chloe away to show her artwork, Vanessa turned to David. "The whole city is talking about you now. In a good way." David shook his head. "I never wanted any of this attention." "I know, but sometimes heroes don't get to choose when the spotlight finds them." She looked toward Lily and Chloe, who were now giggling over crayons and paper. "You gave me my sister back. You gave Lily a father who shows her what real courage looks like. And you gave this city something it desperately needed." "What's that?" Vanessa smiled. "Hope. Proof that good people still exist, that heroes walk among us even when we don't recognize them." Outside, David could hear people talking as they passed by Briarwood Apartments. For the first time in years, they were saying his name with respect instead of pity. The community had spoken. The truth was out. David Harris wasn't just a construction worker anymore. He was a guardian, a protector, a hero. And deep down, he realized he always had been. That evening, Vanessa found herself sitting on David's small balcony. Lily and Chloe were inside, making friendship bracelets and giggling like old friends. "You don't have to live in the shadows anymore," Vanessa said quietly. "Our family owes you everything." David was leaning against the railing, watching his daughter through the window. She was teaching Chloe how to braid colored strings, her face bright with joy. "All I ever wanted was to give her a normal life," he said. "A safe life." "And you have. Look at her, David. She's confident, kind, brave. She has everything she needs because she has you." Vanessa paused. "But maybe normal doesn't have to mean invisible." David turned to look at her. "What do you mean?" "I mean maybe it's time to stop running from who you are. You're not just Lily's father. You're also someone who makes the world safer just by being in it." She pulled out a business card and handed it to him. "King Enterprises has been looking for a new head of security, someone we can trust completely. Someone who understands that protecting people isn't just a job, it's a calling." David looked at the card. "I can't. Lily needs me to be a father." "I know. The job comes with flexible hours, full benefits, and a salary that would let you move Lily to a better neighborhood, better schools, a house with a backyard." Through the window, they could hear Lily's voice. "Chloe, do you want to meet my daddy's friend, Mr. Carter? He lives downstairs." "That sounds wonderful, Lily. Your daddy has a lot of friends, doesn't he?" "Not really. He's usually too busy taking care of me. But that's okay because I'm his best friend." Vanessa smiled. "She adores you. She's everything to me. The day her mother died, I made a promise. I would be enough. I would be her whole world if I had to be. You kept that promise. But David, you don't have to be her whole world anymore. Look in there. She's already making new friends. She wants to share you with the world." David was quiet for a long moment. The broken pen, he said finally. I kept it because it reminded me of Grace, but also because it reminded me of who I used to be. He pulled it out of his pocket one more time. In the fading light, the small eagle engraving caught the last rays of sun. Maybe it's not broken, Vanessa said softly. Maybe it just needed the right moment to matter again. David looked at his daughter through the window. Lily was holding up her finished bracelet to show Chloe, both girls beaming with pride. Once I carried a rifle to protect people, David said. Then I carried lunch boxes and scraped knees and bedtime stories. He smiled, and for the first time in years, it reached his eyes. Now I know the truth. It was never about what I was carrying. It was about who I was protecting. Inside, Lily called out, "Daddy, come see what we made." "Coming, sweetheart." Vanessa watched him go, then whispered to herself, "Welcome back, guardian." The broken pen had found its purpose again, and so had the man who carried it.